Je veux dire, même les fins de la carte, tu peux pas faire. Bon, c'est bien.
On fait sur la maison.
Oui, c'est ça.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the following match. We are still in Namur and we're still having so much fun as it is Apollo versus Charel right now. Both of them are 1-0 and we have the teams. On one end we have Glaring Weezing plus Calyrex Shadow, something that we have seen quite a few times, and the nice combination with the Indeedee being able to click Expanding Force just as well, being able to redirect there, Fluttermane for potential speed control, Urshifu to hit on the physical side, and while there's still a Landorus with a beautiful life form being able to deal a lot of damage as well. While on Shadow's end we have a Trick Room mode with the Cali Shadow, but a nice speed mode as just as well, thanks to the Regieleki. Regieleki is an insane speedy Pokemon. We have seen it do so well in previous game. Now a little bit less, but still people have been bringing it because it brings the speed. It brings only solo electric attacks. It is still very strong and a Pokemon you have to respect just as much. The players have locked in. They are ready for this game. So let's take a look at what they are bringing to this game. Well, this game is actually loading right now, just a little bit. But yeah, you always have to fear the choice specs as a barrage. It is something that is scary. If you're able to deal with it with like potential White Guard, it's always nice. But when you are, when you don't have those, what will you do? It is actually double horse, double Indeedee lead, as we have all the abilities going to activate in just a second as the games are still trying to sync up right now. We have, of course, Cali Shadow first with its ability as one where it has two abilities, boosting its special attack when it gets killed and unnerved, so no berries can be used. While on the other hand, Charel just as well, but with the physical side. The Psychic Tree from Charel's Indeedee is going up first, meaning that it is the faster one between the two. So with these options onto the field, what is the thing that Charel wants to do and Apollo? So it is looking like a very good moment to just Astral Barrage versus Helping Hand. In my opinion, it is something very scary to deal with, as you will have you do have the bulk with Shadow Rider, with Ghost Rider, Ice Rider, I'm sorry, with Ice Rider to survive on a few Terra at the very least. But that is, of course, a scary thing where just as well an Expanded Force could come your way if you are able to make that hard call. But... Non, j'ai pas justement. Parce que maintenant. Alright, we have the Terra activated. It is going, of course, onto that horse of Apollo, going for that Terra Dark, making sure it is able to resist any sort of moves that could hit it super effectively. I'm thinking of Ghost type moves and even Dark type moves. As now, of course, Charel is going for the Terra as well, making sure that it is able to survive anything that this Calyrex will be throwing at it. Is Terra Water. Trying to set up Trick Room is the name of the game, of course. Apollo could very well just try to imprison it just as well, as we have the Helping Hand from Charel coming out, trying to boost it as much as possible. So let's see what Apollo's is. Dark Pulse coming out, and the Dark Pulse is going into that Indeedee, so Indeedee is getting knocked out there. But that means this Calyrex is free to do what it wants, which is the optimal position what you want right now. Getting a special attack rate is great. Glacial Lance coming out. It is also faster than the Indeedee, as we can see now, and it's just KOing the Calyrex as well. Helping Hands, Glacial Lance is super strong, just as well as the Barrage is, but now one horse down, one Indeedee down, as the Chilling Neigh has activated, and now Apollo is going for the Imprison. Being the slowest Indeedee in this regard is not really working out, as Imprison has worked, so no Trick Room is being set up, but you have a Terra Water Calyrex onto the field with no damage as of yet, and it has gotten its boost as well. So what are the options here for Apollo? and we have a Mungus right next to it, and this is looking more dire for Apollo because Surging Strikes not really affecting either of these Pokemon. CC could prove to do some damage, but there's always that redirection with Mungus that is able to deal with it quite well. We have the helping hand coming out from the Indeedee, just trying to help as much as possible right now to deal as much damage. We have close combat actually going into the Cali Ice, doing quite a bit of damage. So Mungus not going for the redirection, going for the raw spore here because it knows it is quite safe. Glacial Lance coming out is going to be able to pick up that KO onto the Indeedee. Only Urshifu left onto the field. Trick Room is now yet again available for this Ice Rider as well. And now Mungus is able to spore it, and there's only one more Pokemon left on Apollo's side, which will have to deal with 3 Pokemon and a Mungus at full health. An Ice Rider still able to comfortably lift any sort of move, potentially, depending on the spread of this Fluttermane. Fluttermane is getting its boosted energy, getting ready for its trainer right now, as the speed is going up, as that could prove to be fatal because this Fluttermane might not have enough oomph to hit this Cali Ice for enough damage to make the KO. And of course, with the Amoonguss next to it, is able to redirect any sort of move as this Cali Ice is now +2. We have the Rage Powder coming out. Rage Powder will be able to redirect any sort of moves that this Fluttermane is going for. It is a Dazzle Gleam, still a spread move. Not KOing just yet onto this Cali Ice, as the Urshifu has to take its mandatory turn of sleep, meaning this Cali Ice is able to just go for that Glacial Lance and making sure that all of these Pokemon are KO'd. And with a critical hit on top as well. So that first game goes to Charel in a very commanding way, really. So if thinking about positioning, like of course with Imprison you are blocking the option of Trick Room, but then the next school of thought is of course that the opponent will not click Trick Room and just go on the offensive, but that is a risk that you have to take or not take, because having to decide if you click Trick Room or not, well, Imprison or not, because for example if the Indeedee did go for the Helping Hand as a barrage, that could have proven to be a very useful turn at the very least, but on the other end it could just as well been a protect from the Cali Ice and a Trick Room from the Indeedee, being able to be safe against whatever this Cali Shadow might be throwing out, except for Dark Pulse, as we have seen that. So I do think we're gonna see similar leads here. Charel does have nice redirection options here, and wants to have Trick Room if the opportunity arises for him, but as long as Apollo is not able to hand off that speed control here, and it's not looking like Charel will be able to get that speed Trick Room in action. So the trainers are set. We are ready for game 2. Let's let it rip and Tinkaton for the Slowpoke, cheering these trainers on, as now we will have the leads. It is going to be, of course, Cali Ice up next to that Indeedee from Charel's side, while we have actually this time around the Landorus and the Cali Shadow. So spread moves galore could very well be the name of the game, as Indeedee can go for potential protects just as well, because as the Indeedee can go for a Trick Room, being able to be immune to the Acid Barrage, but being able to make sure that at least some form of Trick Room gets set up. So still things we have to consider here. What Apollo will do. Dark Pulse is able to kill the Indeedee, but as we have seen earlier, a Helping Hand plus Glacial Lance could prove to be very, very fatal just as well. We have the Terra activated, of course, from Charel's side, is not wanting to risk to be hit super effectively, so that means there's no protect coming out most likely. So is this a double spread time move for Apollo to make sure to try and get a KO here? So we have the Dark Pulse into that Indeedee slot. It is not enough for the KO just yet, and we have Sandsear Storm. Of course, this move is not 100% accurate. It is Calyrex that dodging it, but Indeedee is going down. So that means that the Calyrex is now able freely to move. No trick, potentially no Trick Room has been set up by either of these Pokemon, but it is going to be a Glacial Lance. Going to do a lot of damage to both Pokemon. as the Calyrex Shadow is able to survive, but the Landers is going down, giving a boost to this, Cali Ice. And now we have our horse, of course, locked into its move, being that Dark Pulse. So having considered that, what are the options that Apollo has against this right now? Because we're gonna see the same thing. It is going to be Amoonguss yet again, and Amoonguss is able to make sure that no attacks are going towards that Cali Ice, while that Cali Ice is being able to throw move after move after move, really. Just Glacial Lance, Glacial Lance, Glacial Lance. It's the name of the game, as the potential still lies here for Apollo to see what the options here are. Again, we have the switch off from the Cali Shadow, trying to make sure that it is able to survive at least for another turn to Acid Barrage a bit later. Urshifu coming in, we have the Rage Powder coming out from the Amoonguss, so no Spore this time around. This is a +1 Glacial Lance that will be coming in. Moonblast is not doing all that much damage to the Amoonguss, dropping a special attack, which doesn't lower the speed, of course. Special attack of like Pollen Puff or anything, or like the healing capabilities. But now with Trick Room up, this Amoonguss could very well just Spore plus Glacial Lance. This is looking very dire and very hard to deal with. So Apollo has to choose his moves very carefully if his Pokemon are able to survive a Glacial Lance. What will the next line of play be? Of course, teams like this are very rough to deal with for Apollo, especially with the Indeedee. I feel the Indeedee, just being a normal type, being able to make sure that it's able to survive any sort of Acid Barrage, protect from the Flutter Mane, trying to make sure that it's able to survive here. Spore coming out into that Urshifu slot. Let's see how much this Glacial Lance is going to do. It's not going to damage this in Flutter Mane, of course, but we do have it a +1 onto the Urshifu. How much is it doing? It's just doing below 50, as Urshifu must take its first mandatory turn of sleep. Now this Amoonguss is able to freely go for Rage Powder, of course, as Apollo still have to hope for any option here, because you need to be out of Trick Room to really use the power of your Cali Shadow. Shadow seems to be full in control here. You have to protect failing, unfortunately. The Spore coming out into that Flutter Mane, so no real option here in that regard. And now another Glacial Lance will prove to do a bit of damage. Urshifu should be able to hang on. Is Urshifu able to do something magical here? It is a fantastically strong Pokemon, but is it strong enough to deal with this Cali Shadow at full health? Unfortunately, it doesn't see its own way out of this, and this does seem to be the game. And that is GG for these players. Charel, honestly, taking command lead, and honestly, with his lead, very strong. And that is game. That is very well played by Charel, just sticking his plan, and it worked out very well. So let's see you in the next round. So GG to both players.